Konnichiwa, Zuka-san.
And Koki Doyo to you too.
Bullshit. Then Lunchroom Syndicate here to bring you another Walking Dead video. No more reaction unless we can get that figured out. Not able to record the video, and just us saying random things at random times seemed a little odd when I was going through the last edit. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But we do have another episode coming up here, season 11, episode 14, The Rotten Core. Maggie, Lydia, and Elijah help Aaron and Gabriel on a rescue mission. In the chaos, Negan finds himself watching over Herschel. Elsewhere, Sebastian coerces Daryl and Rosita into pulling a heist. How you feeling going into this?
Gonna go head on right where we pretty much left off, it seems like. Which makes sense.
It does, and that's why I wasn't expecting it here from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, agreed. So this pretty much, to me, this is going to be a continuation of the last episode. It might as well have been back to back, because we both had that same reaction of holy crap, this episode's over last week. So here we are.
Yep, here we finally are to the Death of Gabriel. Negan watching over Herschel. That could be interesting with Maggie, although it can't be that interesting because they already spoiled shit with the, hey, we have a spinoff with Maggie and Negan. And I mean, I don't know if that's going to be them being enemies or if it's going to be a spinoff with them working together and all friendly. I don't know that much. Maybe Negan here is going to kidnap Herschel and run off to New York with him.
Be interesting. I don't think that's going to happen, but that would be interesting.
I don't think so either. Then we are going to start a new arc also with Sebastian coercing Daryl and Rosita into pulling a heist. I have no idea what to expect from that other than Sebastian is a fucking douche.
Oh, just, add in the more reasons why everyone should hate Commonwealth, apparently. I mean, Sebastian makes sense, but we've hit on that a few times in this season. They've really made this group be just genuine bad guys at this point almost. So
yeah. But we're going to head off. We're going to watch the episode, and then afterwards we will be back to give you our thoughts and what we expect to be coming up in the next few episodes.
Woo. All right, Jay, episode 14, The Rotten Core in the books. First thoughts?
Nowhere near as good as the last episode for me. There were parts of this that I liked. There were parts of this that I couldn't stand. How about you?
I don't know. It wasn't like a great episode overall. It was an okay episode. It was one of the weaker ones of the series. I didn't have as strong of an opinion as you did on it, but it definitely had its moments.
So what were some things that you liked about it?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, good actor.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that was an amazing scene despite all of that. I thought it was a really good scene. I thought the scene was well done. I thought he did it well done.
And what scene are you talking about? I mean, I know, but
oh, you're right. I probably should say. I'm just assuming people. The one where he's talking to Herschel, young Herschel, about what happened to Glenn and showing like his growth as a person, as a character.
Yes, Jeffrey Dean Morgan in that, fantastic, but that was a big scene to ask for a kid you don't even trust with words. Like, you don't even give him lines, and you put him in that scene. It's just setting him up for failure.
Yeah, but I don't agree that it was a failure of a scene for him. I thought the kid did a good job of portraying emotion through the eyes. I thought he did well. I'm gonna say I thought that was a well done scene.
I didn't like it.
Because I felt
like, I can't say I didn't like it at all. I thought it was a very one-sided scene.
It was,
And
but
I
I
don't
think
think he gave anything for Jeffrey Dean Morgan to work with. You could have put a tennis ball in his place. You know how when they do CG and they put a ball up there and people complain that they have to talk to a ball and they don't get anything from that.
right.
You could have put that tennis ball in that kid's place and you would have got the same result.
I don't know. That's fair. I would definitely. I would disagree to some extent there. I thought the kid did a decent job of conveying emotion through actions and without having to say anything, which I think is a good thing because you're right. But that doesn't alleviate the bigger problem of you don't trust a kid with a talking line during a pretty emotional scene. There is an issue there.
We haven't seen Herschel much. One of the very few scenes that I remember is with Ezekiel back at the Commonwealth, and he had that belt that they were playing tug of war with, and he wanted to give the kid a belt. Like, even that scene, you couldn't even trust the kid in that scene, and then you give him this one. I know what you wanted from it, but you didn't get it from the kid, and it's not the kid's fault.
No.
Another scene that I know it bothered both of us was you had CIA guy getting ready to go into the closet. He sees the footprints leading in the closet. He's heading in there, and there's a last minute distraction that we can't go and check this out now. I hate how often The Walking Dead does that.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't as bad as back in season 5 with all the heads in the trough where they had that fake out like 3 damn times.
And it's like, if you wait to the last moment, it gets the tension, the drama. But the problem is if you do it every single time, then it doesn't work.
Yeah, leaving everything to the last second for a resolution does not make for a tense scene.
What was going to happen?
He was going to go through and get lit up. I mean,
and then
how's that a bad scenario for our group?
Yeah, that's like it becomes a one-way tunnel in, and every one of them's getting shot or killed. Perfect scenario.
Yeah,
that scene irritated me.
Carol meets up with Hornsby. How the hell is Carol not suspicious of this guy before that conversation?
I don't know. I was thinking about that, and was she playing it off? Did she not realize in the depth that maybe he was corrupt? Maybe she realized he was corrupt, obviously, since she was able to get Ezekiel up higher in the list. So she knew that he was corrupt. That doesn't happen if you have someone that isn't corrupt. We don't have the system in general, but that's not the point. But yeah, so I don't know if she was just playing it off and that's kind of where I'm leaning. And even though I'm probably wrong, that's the only thing that makes sense to me is that she was playing it off to try not to raise suspicion.
Well, but if you do that, I mean, she made herself suspicious by going in there at the end. Like, it was a surprise to her. Otherwise, she would have been able to go in and act it off better and had a game plan.
Yeah, I
my surprise.
No, I
Carol.
I'm not saying my logic's good. I'm not saying my
like Carol's personality at all. It doesn't fit that character. The rest of the episode was really straightforward. At the end, we saw Leah making her return. We talked about that after episode 9, I think, about how she was gone, and we were wondering when she was going to be coming back, or maybe that was going to be the spinoff. No, they have characters leaving and coming right back, unless you're Glenn hiding underneath a dumpster. You make an immediate return.
Yeah, I'm okay with her return. It has been 5 episodes, but I'm curious to see what role she's going to play, and more specifically, why does she need the guns? Because she's only one person, right? I mean, I'm assuming there's going to be a new group maybe coming up. I don't know, but she couldn't have known about the Commonwealth, right? So she just happened to, you have some happenstances here that you have to kind of let go of. So she just happened upon this convoy that happened to be Commonwealth, that happened to have a whole bunch of guns, which, by the way, it turned out that they weren't wrong. And I now understand why they thought that group took the guns. Like their logic, the Commonwealth logic wasn't off. Not the way they went about things was bad, but their logic was sound. They caught that group raiding. I understand where they're coming from.
I mean, they have a big army that'll go around and do these things. I don't know why they're also trying to be sneaky with a bunch of shit. Like if you want to get into that safe to get the fucking money, why don't you go down there with your 1,200 strong military or whatever the hell it is, blow those things away, get your money and go home like it's no big fucking deal? Why do you have to send in fucking 4 people at a time?
The only thing I can think of with that is that they're pushing this that maybe, we think of the Pamela, I think her name is, the governor, as actually like a pretty, it's, although corrupt, maybe they're starting to portray her as a reasonable, good person. If she found out about some of the side stuff, she would do something about it.
Okay, so now we don't have just one overthrow and one coup going on. We have a coup against a coup against a coup against the governor.
I don't think Sebastian or Hornsby are trying to overthrow the governor. They're just trying to.
You wouldn't say that about Hornsby?
I think
he's trying to get his own little thing going.
He's trying to get his own thing, but he's not gonna. He's smart. He's not gonna try and overthrow her. I don't think that. I think he's trying to get his own area, so to speak. I mean, why would Sebastian do it to his own mom? A lot of money, maybe, but
he has his own secret group in the community.
Yeah, that can be explained away that if Pamela found out about it, she would not be happy about it. Again, if there is money hungry, if they're money hungry and greedy, then of course they're going to keep a secret from Pamela if she's not as bad of a human as they are. Again, she's probably corrupt in her own way, but
you went back to that. I'm back to, I was talking about Hornsby. I mean, you don't have your own little secret fucking underground organization if you're okay with what Pamela's doing.
But what is the other option? I guess that's not how I want to say it. Other than killing her, which is, he can't just overthrow her unless he's setting her up, which if that's where you're going with, then maybe, but there's enough in the resistance anyway that we're kind of forgotten about at this point.
If he just wants his own group and that's all he wants, he doesn't need a secret organization behind Pamela's back to get that. He would be working with her to expand like he was doing to Alexandria. You don't need to then send a secret CIA guy in. You'd be wanting to work with these groups because you want to take over as the leader of the groups. Or you're going to go in and just fuck them all to hell because you have a massive 50,000 strong community and you're going up against communities with 8 people in them.
I don't know. I mean, good point. I don't think it's as cut and dry as that. I don't know, because it's like they're towing 2 different lines with him, maybe, and that's where I'm getting lost. And I mean, Pamela wasn't a fan of the idea of them trying to get Alexandria anyway. But going forward, we got 2 episodes left of this segment of the season. We haven't seen Ezekiel since, so I think we have that called pretty damn good at this point. We ain't gonna see him next week, almost for sure. Is there? And then, they planted the seeds for the uprising with Mercer, and gonna be very curious. I'm gonna be curious where that heads, and how quick they get to that.
Okay, so My new prediction is Ezekiel's going to come out of the operation perfectly fine. No one's ever going to get another scratch on him.
See, that's why you hated this episode. Because
Yeah,
Gabriel
Gabriel didn't fucking die. Come on.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, I'm not. Should have been dead a long time ago.
You have been pounding that rock for seasons.
God,
Where does that? I guess that's the other question: is where does that group go? Where's that the? I don't know. I forget what the Riverbend group go. I'm sure they're going to let us know because this ain't the last we've seen them. Obviously, my first thought was Hilltop, but
yeah, that does set up with Maggie and a reaction to Daryl, like, "Hey, Daryl, how the hell are you with this group?"
mm-hmm.
I think Daryl's gonna help her realize that, all the concerns you have, yes, there is a good segment like that, but there's also a segment not like that.
If you ever realize that based off what we know with the sequel or with the spinoff, but I'm gonna be serious, see how they set that up. I wish they would announce that. Like, why did they announce that?
I don't know. It just,
Because that took away some of it too. Because like that was an episode that you can like legitimately see Negan. And they weren't going to, but if you were going to eliminate Negan, that was a good opportunity to eliminate Negan.
the kid actually shoot Negan.
Yeah,
But maybe that's another part of why I didn't like the scene, because they're main characters and they're fucking invincible at this point.
and that is becoming not becoming, that has been a very big problem for a significant long time now, and they need to figure that out because I mean, one of the great things about the earlier episodes was you didn't know who was going to die, you didn't know what was going to happen. Now, Grant, you don't want to just have random shit happen, but
Well, that was
if
one of the complaints early on with some people, is that like people were dying at random and you have main characters going off. Yes, but it gave real stakes to what you were watching.
yes,
I haven't watched thinking, oh man, is this character that I care about in any kind of trouble? No, they're not.
that's that's where The Walking Dead's lost a lot of its aura or luster. Is early on they did a great job of that. You didn't, outside of Rick early on, and Carl, you didn't know who was going to go,
Mhm.
and then they just pivoted pretty much since the line and
Abe.
Abe. It's really since then they've pivoted pretty hard away from that, from my understanding. I mean, I haven't watched most of season 7 on up until now, but it just seems like that a lot of the same characters I've seen then are still around outside of like, some minor stuff.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to think, like, what's the big death so far in this segment? April O'Neil got killed by the Shredder.
Yeah. There really hasn't been a big death at all.
I know we got a couple other characters with names that died, but they said their names right before they died, and I don't know.
I mean, they were relatively.
I don't want you just to go and kill people for the fucking sake of killing people, but
No, but
it doesn't make sense that they're making it.
mm,
Why? You don't have a story for them. It doesn't make sense for how they're getting out of the situation. Kill Gabriel. Do it. But yeah, so my new prediction: everyone's fine.
you're probably right.
The group that we know now, if you've known them for more than, if you know their name, They're
gone.
surviving the zombie apocalypse. They're all going to have zombie pets on the last episode. But does that do it for this one? Okay. From Christopher and I want to thank you for joining us. And until the next week's episode number 15, until then, deuces.